Hello, I hope you guys are doing well. Today I will be answering the discussion question, how would I convince my friend or myself not to participate in the world of party or any plain old temptation, and what steps will I take? First, I would say the most important thing when trying to convince someone of anything is that you need to show them why, in this case, partying is wrong. If I were to walk up to my friend who is living the party life and told my friend going to parties is wrong, they would probably look at me like I'm from some other planet and blow me off. But if I told them there are a lot of reasons why going to parties is wrong, and here are a few of them, I would at least have their attention, even if just for a little while. Now I know that all changes of heart come from God, so the number one piece of advice I could give myself, whether trying to help a friend or myself, is to always start in prayer. Ask God to give you the right things to say before you talk to your friend. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him." The second best piece of advice I would give myself or someone else trying to convince their friend not to go to a party is always talk to them in love. John 13:35 says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Now those are some tips I would give to my friend or myself before I talk to them. What would I say to my friend that I'm trying to convince while talking to them? I think there are two different paths for this conversation. One, if the friend is a Christian, and two, if they are not a Christian. If they are a Christian, then I would use scriptures and combat their thinking from a Christian perspective. I would use verses like Romans 12:2. "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." 1 John 2:15. "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Colossians 3:2. "Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth." If they are a Christian, then they probably are going to have an argument to justify their actions in their minds. They will say things like, "I'm not going to drink, stay out crazy late, or if it's too bad, then I will just leave." So how I would answer those arguments or other arguments like that, I would use scriptures like the ones I already mentioned. And by saying things like, "Why would you put yourself in that predicament?" And "When everyone there is doing it and they are putting the pressure on you to do it, do you really think that one, you won't do it? And two, does that really sound like fun?" Now, if the friend I'm talking to is not a Christian, then that makes trying to convince them a lot more challenging. In this case, I would start by trying to show them why it is in their best interest not to go to the party, and then after I've convinced them, I would share the gospel with them. I would say things like, "You really need a good score on that test. You should be studying, not staying up late killing your brain." Or, "What will your coach think if you showed up to practice all drowsy and tired?" I would tell them facts like what I found on NIAAA.gov. It says that drinking alcohol can affect how your brain works. It can cause irregular heartbeat, give you a stroke, and high blood pressure. It can also affect your liver and is highly cancerous. It can ruin your immune system, making you more at risk of catching and dying from diseases. In conclusion, 1. Pray. Pray for wisdom. Pray that God changes their heart. 2. Love. Show love. Talk to them from a standpoint of love. 3. Use the Bible. Jesus lived a perfect life, leaving us the perfect example on how we should live our lives. 4. Show them going to a party is by no means in their best interest. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.